You're thinking about buying the DJI Mini 4 Pro, but right now we're talking you out of it. This drone is advertised as the ultimate portable filmmaking tool, promising pro results without the headaches. But here's what surprised me after testing it for weeks. This pro drone has some serious cons that could ruin your expensive purchase. Therefore, before you spend over $800, you need to see the annoying problems they don't tell you in the ads. For the best price, click the link in the description. Let's start with the biggest selling point, its weight. At under 249 grams, DJI screams you can skip registration. That's a huge relief, right? You just want to fly. But here's the first major snag. That sub 250-gram magic only works with the standard battery. The moment you use the Intelligent Flight Battery Plus for longer life, you're over the limit. So much for no registration. You basically have a drone with an identity crisis. It's like buying a car advertised for its amazing fuel efficiency, but only if you never use the air conditioning. Therefore, if you want those advertised longer flights, you're instantly plunged into FAA paperwork and remote ID requirements. It's a bait-and switch that feels less like a feature and more like a legal loophole. And speaking of the law, their notes section reads like a terms of service agreement you just click agree on. They bury the crucial info in tiny text, which is about as fun as finding a missing propeller in a field of grass. Let's move to the obstacle avoidance, marketed as omnidirectional. This sounds fantastic for beginners. You get to fly with confidence, like the drone has a sixth sense. But during my testing, I found this system to be overly cautious to the point of being frustrating. In a forest with light foliage, the drone would sometimes just stop. It would refuse to fly forward on a perfectly clear path because it detected a few distant leaves. It's like having a super paranoid co-pilot who screams "bridge" every time you drive under an overpass. Therefore, for smooth, cinematic shots, you often have to turn the sensors off, which defeats their entire purpose. For a pro model, you'd expect more intelligent, nuanced sensing. Instead, you get a nervous system that can ruin the shot you're trying to get. And that's a problem when you're paying for pro-level features. You're not just buying a toy, you're buying a tool. This one sometimes acts like it forgot its own job description. Now, the camera and vertical video. The 4K/60 FPS HDR footage is stunning, I won't lie. Sunrise shots look incredible. But the big push is for vertical video, which is great for social media. However, shooting vertically isn't a simple flip of a switch. You're essentially cropping the sensor, losing a massive portion of your frame. It's like buying a huge pizza and only being allowed to eat the middle slice for portability. Therefore, while it's convenient, it feels like a compromise masquerading as an innovation. You're not getting a dedicated vertical mode, you're just getting less picture. For a prosumer drone, that's a letdown. You want flexibility, not limitations dressed up as features. And let's talk about the effortless active track 360 degrees. It's cool, but it's not magic. On a windy day, tracking a subject moving erratically can cause the drone to hesitate and lose the lock. It's like a dog that gets distracted by its own shadow. So, is it easy for beginners? Sure. Is it reliably pro-grade? Not always. Battery life is another area of, let's say, creative marketing. They promise uninterrupted, longer flights and up to 34 minutes. But that's in perfect, windless lab conditions. In the real world, with some wind, using obstacle avoidance and tracking, I was consistently getting 22 to 25 minutes before the low battery warning kicked in. That's a significant drop. It's the difference between filming an entire hike and having to nervously land halfway through the best view. Therefore, that goodbye to battery anxiety promise quickly turns into hello constant battery management. You'll be swapping batteries more than you think, which makes the Fly More combo almost a mandatory purchase, pushing your total cost way over $1,000. That's not a mini price tag. That's a major investment. And don't get me started on the charging hub, which feels flimsier than my resolve to eat healthy after seeing a donut. The transmission system boasts a 20 km range, which is frankly absurd. No one should ever fly a drone that far. It's illegal and dangerous. So why advertise it? It's a spec sheet checkbox that creates unrealistic expectations. The important part is the lag-free feed, which is indeed very good. But here's the twist. The bright screen on the DJI RC2 remote. It's a battery hog. The remote itself needs frequent charging. So you've got two devices to worry about now. It's like having a pet that needs walking and a plant that needs watering, and they both whine at the same time. Therefore, the seamless experience is interrupted by the logistics of keeping everything charged. For a travel-friendly drone, that's a lot of cables and power banks to pack. The convenience starts to unravel. Let's talk about the name, Mini 4 Pro. The Pro implies it's for serious creators, but the reality is it sits in a weird middle ground. It's too restricted by its weight and size to be a true professional workhorse, yet it's too expensive and complex to be a simple beginner drone. It's the drone equivalent of a sports car with a governor that limits its speed. You're paying for performance you can't always access. And the activation process. You must activate it in the DJI Fly app before your first flight. It's a mandatory online handshake. Forget to do it at home with Wi-Fi, and you're stuck in the field with a very expensive paperweight. It's a DRM check for the sky, and it feels about as welcoming as a bouncer at an exclusive club. So after all these problems, who is this drone actually for? That's the million-dollar question, or rather, the $815 question. If you are a casual user who will only use the standard battery, flies only in wide-open spaces, and treats vertical video as a bonus, it's a capable machine. But for that use case, the older Mini 3 Pro is often a better value. Therefore, the resolution isn't a simple "don't buy it." It's a buyer beware. You need to know exactly what you're getting into. The Mini 4 Pro is a brilliant piece of technology saddled with frustrating real-world compromises and legal fine print. It shines in perfect conditions, but stumbles in the messy reality where we actually live and fly. Before you make your decision, weigh these problems against your needs. Do you truly need the latest model, or can an older version save you money for the same core experience? The choice is yours. But if you've weighed it all up and still want the DJI Mini 4 Pro, at least get it for the best possible price. Click the link in the description below to check the current price on Amazon. That's one problem I can help you solve right now.